in the girls volleyball team. Before we talk a little bit about our teams here tonight, I just want to give you a little recap of the fall athletic season. We had a fantastic season overall. The top of the list was all of our teams were recognized as scholar athlete teams, which I know is something we all feel very passionate about, that our athletes are doing the right things in the classroom as well in their sports. We had 7 sectional championship team titles. The boys and girls cross country team, boys and girls volleyball, girls tennis, field hockey, and what's the last one? Swimming. Thank you very much. I knew I was going to forget one of them. But so we had 7 sectional team titles, and then we had individual championships as well. So overall, just a fantastic season. We had 2 regional championships with field hockey and girls volleyball. We had our girls cross country team finish 3rd at states in a really competitive race. Field hockey had a fantastic season. They made it to the state semis. So overall, just a fantastic season for all of our teams. And then capped off with our 2 state championship teams. Before we introduce you to both teams tonight, we're just going to show you a quick little video, kind of highlighting these teams and just showing how great they were this year. Dr. McGrath.
He can get thrown around pretty loosely sometimes, but there's no.
The Burt Hills Ballston Lake boys cross country team took the program to heights no other boys cross country team in New York State has ever gone before. Our Tommy Valentine shares the story of the Spartans' record-breaking season.
Oh, I didn't do it last year, and one person on the starting line actually mentioned it, and it was the only time it was mentioned all weekend until afterwards. Saturday's meet was by far the most emotional of any of them. It was beyond belief about how I felt afterwards.
Senior Matt Windecker has been part of 3 of those championship-winning teams. Now he and his teammates are a part of New York State boys cross-country history.
That was incredible. It was like a feeling like no other because we didn't have our 2 guy, so we were running kind of down, and everybody had to have their best race, and we did, and it was just amazing. And it's just a testament to how Coach Button coaches. Like, he creates a culture that is like no other. Having that sustainability throughout the program is just everything.
Of the 7 Spartans who competed at states, 5 placed in the top 20 for team scores. Leading the way, senior Caden Roblino, who finished 2nd out of 116 total runners, perhaps the race of his young career.
As we come up to the starting line, I was with Matthew, and normally I can't even see him when we're running, but as I followed him to the mile, I realized that it's different today. I came out of the finish line, my parents were crying, everybody was cheering. It was a really good experience to have.
While this year's group will go down as the official record breakers, they haven't lost sight of the runners before them who laid the foundation for this spectacular streak.
Tyler Berg, Evan, Aiden, Nick Hunziker, they were definitely the models. They had attitude and determination like no other. They made running fun and helped us know what we had to do, the mindset we had to cultivate throughout the year, and I've just kind of tried to model after what they did.
In Burton Hills, Tommy Valentine, News 10 Sports.
A phenomenal streak from the Spartans, a true dynasty. The word does get tossed around a lot, but
yeah, 7 years is unbelievable. That is amazing. Congratulations.
In Burton Hills, Tommy Valentine, News 10 Sports.
a phenomenal streak from the Spartans, a true dynasty. The word does get tossed around a lot, but
yeah, 7 years is unbelievable. That is amazing. Congratulations.
We also have a little video, also from Channel 10, for our volleyball team.
In home a state championship. 2 of those teams coming from Section 2, beginning with the perennial Class A powerhouse Burnt Hills, Boston Lake. Spartans have reached the final in 4 straight seasons, winning 2 titles paired up against Section 6's Williamsville South. Burnt Hills enforcing their will in the opening set. McKenna Law and Leah Scalise get up for the block. 19-12 Spartans. Then off a set from Cassandra Vaughn, Law drops the gavel. First set goes to Burnt Hills 25-13. Second set didn't come as easy. Williamsville led 13-10, but that Scalise did now fuel a string of 7 unanswered Spartans points. Chance for Burnt Hills to take a 2-set lead. Billies can't get the ball back over the net, and the Spartans are in total control. But Williamsville refused to go away, up 24-23 in the third. Law's kill attempt goes long, and the Billies get a set back. Pressure continuing to mount as Burnt Hills fell behind 15-10 in the fourth, but back they come as Olivia Atkins serves up an ace to tie things at 17. Match point for the Spartans, and Peyton Solomon serve sails long. Burnt Hills returns to the top of Class A, winning 3-1.
There's so many emotions from everyone coming together. You know, we all are working for the same goal, and we accomplished that. You know, it was sad but happy. You know, this is the team we've been playing with, you know, for so many years. For this to be my last game and, you know, half of the other team's last game, this was awesome.
Since the bus ride home from last year, we're saying we're coming out bigger and better next year, and that's all we were doing, is playing the best that we can and just getting better and better and learning from each game, and each team really pushed us to this point.
Credit to our kids, they just came back. We got some big blocks when we needed to. What a weekend Abby Harper had as our libero. That's a tough thing to be up 2-0 and all of a sudden looking at 2-2. Just so proud of them.
Ionis. That's code for secure.
With Capital One, I think working remotely.
Thank you for showing that. Just pretty incredible for both of these teams on those accomplishments. In addition, I talked about the scholar athlete teams. For cross country, they had a team average of 94.05. It was their 24th sectional title, 10th in a row. And as you saw in the video, it was the 7th state title in a row for the boys cross country team, which is a state record in cross country, which is pretty cool. And it was their 12th state title overall. Girls volleyball, they had a 96.7 GPA. They had the most wins for the history of the program in 32 match records. They had 21 straight Section 2 championships and regional championships, which is also a record, and it was the 9th state title for the program. Both programs have been a model for success, not only in Section 2, not only in New York State, but across the country. And there's one common theme that goes with both of these programs is the dynamic coaches that we have. Our head coach, Coach Button, Coach Bynan and his staff, they just do a fantastic job. And if you talk to any of their athletes, they would run through a wall for these individuals because they're just great leaders. They do a great job of really teaching our student athletes to be in the best that they can be in their sport, but also being the best that they can be as people. So thank you, coaches. And now I'm going to bring up our coaches to introduce you to our individuals on the team. So I'm going to start off with Coach Button and the boys cross country team.
Starting over there, we've got freshman Luca Piccirillo, and then another freshman, Ethan Owen, and junior Gregory Tomic, sophomore Logan Muller. And then we've got a bunch of seniors who've really kind of held things down. Senior Ben Smith, Braden Sear, senior Caden Roblino, senior Matthew Windecker, and senior Brody Brody Dugan. There was another Brody that popped in my mind. Brody Dugan.
Guys, come on up. Can we do it after their picture?
No, you're good there.
Selfie.
Sorry, I got you now.
Good? Yeah, we're good? Okay. I'm going to turn it over to Board President John Lofton, who will read a whereas that will be adopted at the end of the meeting tonight in regards to the cross-country team.
A big congratulations to you guys. You should be very proud of yourselves. Whereas the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake 2023 boys varsity cross-country team of Braden Sire, Brody Dugan, Nolan McFarland, Logan Muller, Ethan Owen, Luca Picarillo, Caden Robolino, Ben Smith, Gregory Tomic, and Matthew Windecker, along with Coach Button, won the New York State Class B Championship at Vernon Verona Sherrill High School on November 11th, 2023, with Caden Robolino and Matthew Windecker achieving medalist honors for their second and 12th place finishes, respectively. And the team scoring 53 points to Mass Haddock's 65th point, wait, hold on, sorry guys. And the team scoring 53 points to Manhasset's 65th, I'm so sorry, 65th point, and whereas the team has now won its 24th and 10th consecutive Section 2 championship, its 12th and 7th consecutive state championship, while also demonstrating their superlative teamwork and depth by finishing 10th at the New York State Federation Cross Country Championship and 8th at the Nike Cross New York Regional Championship, with Matthew Windecker earning an at-large bid to the Nike Cross Country Championship in Portland, Oregon, with his 5th place finish. And whereas the team also won the Suburban Council Gray Division, finishing with a Suburban Council dual meet record of 13-1, and with the team also finishing 3rd in the Suburban Council Cross Country Championships, and team members Matthew Windecker, Ben Smith, Caden Robolino, and Ethan Owen being named Suburban Council Cross Country All-Stars based on their performance this season. And whereas the team has exemplified the ideas of sportsmanship, cooperation, endurance, team effort, and dedication to their sport while achieving inevitable success. The team-wide grade point average of 94.05%. Therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake Board of Education formally acknowledges its pride in having such representatives to carry the school district's name and extend its congratulations to the team and Coach Button for their outstanding efforts and accomplishments. Congratulations, guys.
Congrats, guys. And as they're going to sit down, one of the things you saw in the video was Matt talked a little bit about losing one of their top runners. So they go into states with a little adversity, and I think not sure how it was going to go. And you had every member of that team just stepped it up and had a great performance. So there's always a story about winning the state title, and this year's team was just kind of breaking through with some of that adversity. Girls volleyball, a little different format this year at states. So you had a one-match semifinal to move on to the championship. In the past, it was a round-robin tournament, so just a little bit of a different feel. So I know this was a little different for Coach Biden and his staff, but the girls persevered in the championship match, as you saw. They went up early, and the team that they were going against didn't just stop. They fought back, and our girls, they recovered, and they ended up winning in that fourth set. So just two different stories, but definitely stories that, when you talk about and remember their season, it's things that kind of stand out. So I'm going to bring up Coach Binen to introduce you to the girls.
Hi, everyone. Just congratulations again. We've been on the tour here together the last couple weeks. It's so great, and congratulations, Coach Button, and all you guys for a successful season. Just great stuff. And when our kids, both of these programs, travel a little bit, and when they do, one of the biggest things that they really take a lot of pride in is representing the school district in this community. And in both cases, people know them in a lot of places. So we appreciate all of your support that you give our programs throughout the course of a year. We have 17 plus staff, so I'm reading the list here. Olivia Atkins, Alexa Bellinger, Mackenzie Kahn, Audrey Chamberlain, Sophie Chevalier, Ava Goodemote, Abby Harper, Grace Ippoliti, McKenna Law, Jada Legiri, Lauren Little, Julia Morales, Sarah Robbins, Leah Scalise, Soph Tassone, Cassie Vaughn, and Alex Weems. We have also, I'd like to call our staff up. Just an unbelievable group, and nothing can be done up in Glens Falls and throughout the course of playoffs and the season without the help of this group. My assistant coach, Lauren Binen, staff members Sue Guestwick, Kara Olson, Allison Bernardi, and the best stat man in New York State, Bill York. Come on up.
I don't know. I'll do my best. Here's the thing. Work your magic. Don't do it. Just kind of go in between people. So just not kind of no, stay up. Don't go down. See how she's kind of angled between you. So if you can't see me, I can't see you. You guys have to go down. Okay. All right, I feel like I can see most of you. I can't see Jen. There we go. Get out of my way. Okay. Okay. Stand up. Yep. Don't slouch. Enjoy that height. Just keep looking at me, not the mom.
there's no way you're going on Instagram, so we're just gonna have to let that go. One more measure. Ready? This is it. Final. Okay.
Girls, hold on 1 second.
Congratulations, girls. You should be very proud of yourselves. Whereas the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake 2023 girls varsity volleyball team of Olivia Atkins, Alexa Bellinger, Mackenzie Mahan, Audrey Chamberlain, Sophie Chevalier, Ava Goodmote, Abby Harper, Grace Ipolodi, McKenna Law, Jada Legiri, Lauren Little, Julia Morales, Sarah Robbins, Leah Scalise, Soph Tassone, Cassie Vaughn, and Alex Wims, along with Coach Gary Bynan and Assistant Coach Lauren Bynan, and staff members Sue Gueswick, Kara Olson, Allison Bernardi, and Bill York, won the New York State Class A Volleyball Championship at the Cool Insuring Arena on November 19th, 2023. And whereas this team set a new school record by winning 32 matches, and whereas this is the 36th consecutive year the BHBL girls varsity volleyball is the Suburban Council grade champions, and the 21st consecutive year where Section 2 Class A champions and New York State regional champions. The team's New York State championship title is the volleyball program's 9th state win, and whereas this team also won the Harold Van Erden Memorial Tournament, the BHBL Cider Challenge Tournament, and the Saratoga Challenge. And whereas the athletes also demonstrated outstanding academic effort by achieving a scholar athlete team grade point average of 96.7, and therefore it is hereby recognized that the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake Board of Education formally acknowledges its pride in having such representatives to carry the school district's name and extend its congratulations to the team and coaches for their outstanding efforts and accomplishments. Congratulations, girls. Congratulations again, everyone. We're going to move on now to our elementary program review. Dr. Collins.
Just give a second. Just give a second for everybody to clear out. So, did the projector go off?
Yeah, I can see the numbers.
Did the projector get turned off?
No,
you have to. All right, I'm going to try to figure out my settings, but I apologize. We'll kick it off with our second program review of the year, very similarly to our secondary program review from last month. We're excited to present the year in review from our 3 elementary schools. And to do the presenting tonight, we have our 3 elementary principals, Abby North from Charlton Heights, Dr. Rick Evans from Stevens, and Ms. Jill Bonaccio from Pashley. I think, Rick, that's going to get turned on. He'll control that. Okay. And in the background, as we had last time, again, it takes a number of individuals to put the presentation together, obviously to make our school district as exceptional as it is. Just quickly, who I can see, Lindsay Stein, our Director of Science, Brenda Muldoon, Director of ENL in World Languages, Sherry McTighe, Director of Special Services, Nancy Hyde, we're going to do Bill last. No, Bill McQuaid, Director of Math and Computer Science. Nancy Hyde, our she's got quite a long title, but she's directing school counseling for this year. Is Kate Gurley, Director of ELA and RTI and Reading. John Antosky, Social Studies. Am I missing anybody? And Joe Scalise, who's already done a great job, our Director of PE, Health, and Athletics. So thank you to the whole team. We did not receive any questions in advance from the board, but we're very happy to answer questions at the conclusion of the presentation. Again, our goal is to be brief, but to provide you with some insight into the things we're proud of, as well as the things that we're excited to be working on and improving with. I do want to mention Sarah White, who is down in the auditorium preparing for the Charlton Heights concert, which is why, I'm out of time already, which is why Abby will be leaving very shortly and didn't get a speaking role for this presentation because she's going to go and introduce her Knights for their winter concert very shortly. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jill Bonaccio, who will begin with what we do well at our elementary schools.
Great. Well, you can see what we do well already in regards to the celebrations tonight. At the elementary level, we're really proud of the balanced and the holistic approach that we provide to our students in regards to their academics without losing sight of their social, emotional well-being. That's very important to us to balance that all out. As a district, we are really committed in terms of the best practice piece. You can see we've been really busy the past year with the science of reading, letters training, Go Math. We just had staff development yesterday for Go Math. Next generations of science investigations. Lindsay's been around our buildings pretty constantly, and the kids are loving it. So, and as well as using iReady to guide and inform our instruction for our students. And as far as, we're also really proud of, in terms of the social emotional skills, they are going to be life skills, right? So the addition to our school counselors, as well as with our social work team, has just been incredibly awesome. They're in classrooms, they're, doing lessons in terms of goal setting, problem solving, solving conflict productively, respectfully. They're able to go in classrooms when, types of issues comes up, whether it be technology or just, again, just the importance of just communicating effectively with each other. Emotion management is another piece that really includes a lot of the stress management when, when we're working with students, whether it be counseling or even administratively, it's important for us to, to validate our students' feelings, but at the same time, teach them the strategies how to channel their feelings, whether it be, anger or sadness, et cetera. And, most importantly, we, the empathy and kindness piece, we model and teach every day. Some additional things that are on here that we do as far as, some best practices, the principals, we've worked really hard at incorporating additional common planning time for our staff with all these new initiatives going on. That's critical. We still have our RTI blocks, which we give our students what we need during that time, and we are all going to be offering before and after school programming beginning in January, again, just to, give our students certainly what they need and additional support. And I think that's most of what I'm covering right now, and I will certainly interact with Mr. Evans. I'm going to turn it over to him with some of the challenges we face, but we put those challenges into opportunities, and he will be going over that with us.
Thank you, Jill. And you know, as Jill just segued to me, I think it's important the work that we continue to try to do, from the superintendent's office to the principals to K-12 supervisors, is how we frame things. There's a different mindset. There's different mindsets, and how you interpret things is how you proceed. For instance, we've come off COVID, and our kids are they're down academically and social emotionally. I feel so bad for these kids. It must be terrible to grow up now. That's one way to look at it. Or another way to look at it is, you know what? Our kids, they've endured the pandemic, and we're making our way through. We're pulling together as a district, as educators, and with our families, and look where our kids are headed. The brighter days ahead for them, based on the great work that we're all doing together. So, as much as the things we talk about, it's also the mindset and the belief system that we're really trying to cultivate within our school as well, that we think is really impactful, and it guides a lot of what we do. Just a few of the challenges that we, and Jill alluded to some of them, because they're some of our strengths as well. One is the instructional and scheduling challenges. There's challenges in terms of, students there are some greater challenges in terms of instructional time for kids, because everything's important. ELA is important, math's important, science, social studies, our ESL services, everything technology has huge value. And there's a finite amount of time during a school day. There's also enriching programs that we'd like to bring in as well. And so that's definitely a challenge, is how to honor them in a way that it's not so thin, their exposure, but we want it to be substantive and meaningful. So that's a challenge for us, is how to utilize our school days in the most impactful way possible for kids. Also, the changing standards, that's a challenge as well. And so the opportunity that we're seeking from this is to really look at opportunities to refine our schedules. We've creating our 90 minutes of language arts and 60 minutes of ELA, alternating days of ELA and of science and social studies. We're trying to be creative and innovative with scheduling, even exploring different districts, how they might be, if they're doing new innovative ideas, looking at how we use our we call it our RTI time, it's our win time, whatever. It's when we talk about not introducing new instruction, it's an hour block in the day, and we're looking at how to best utilize that to really help kids grow. Just choosing a new ELA series, looking at our math series, giving professional development, all sorts of things that we're doing to take those challenges and to really not admire the challenges, but look at seek solutions together. And I think we're really heading in some really positive directions. Another challenge that we have is the academic, social, emotional needs of our students. We feel them, the behavioral challenges, the social, the emotional difficulties children are experiencing, the academic challenges. That's just to be honest and real. We need to acknowledge that there are those challenges that kids are confronted with. And what are some of the opportunities that we can look for here? We can look at opportunities to refine our preschool programming, such as we've had a jump start for a long time in our district. Perhaps it's time to explore bolstering that even more, providing really even more solidified preschool experiences for kids before their entry into elementary school. The counseling teams that our district really stepped up and committed to, we're already feeling the impact in a positive way of having a team of mental health workers, our social worker, our psychologist, our school counselors, all working together in a proactive and reactive way with kids. Proactively implementing our Second Step program, the relationships they're building with kids, and I would include Officer Zach and Officer Cody in this as part of that team as well. It's those social connections that we're building, as well as there's a greater response we're needing a greater response in terms of addressing concerning emotional situations with kids, meltdowns, behavioral episodes, self-harm. These are prevalent within our school days now, and it's something that having this team of people to not just do the work themselves, but to help educate, train, and support our teachers as they work with children has been invaluable, and that's an opportunity that we have to continue to build that. The possibility of having a mental health, a well-being survey. You know, we assess ELA and math. Let's assess the well-being of BHBL, elementary, middle school, and high school kids, and see how are we doing in that area. What are the areas? What are kids telling us? And that would just be another example of the type of opportunities that we have. Another challenge that we have are space concerns, and I think we've really illustrated those through the bond referendum, work that we've done. So I certainly don't need to speak much to that. And what opportunity do we have? It's the new bond referendum project. And we really appreciate the focus of it. It was addressing the space needs at the elementary school, and so we're really looking forward to digging in, really looking at how we can provide the best spaces possible for kids. Right now, there's a shortage of spaces, and sometimes when we do have spaces, they're not like commensurate with the times we're in. They're outdated, and so we have a great opportunity, exciting opportunity with the bond referendum. And the last piece, the last challenge that we have, and it's something that is really important to us as leaders in the room. We've talked about this, and that's faculty and staff wellness, their well-being. The job, and Dave, you work at a school as well, that it's become increasingly stressful, taxing for educators. And again, that's just the reality of it. And so what opportunities do we have? It's being deliberate and intentional about taking care of the needs of our professionals working in our schools and our paraprofessionals through things such as how we utilize our faculty meetings. I know we had just some fun, well-being type activities today. We're integrating those more into our school days. It's the staff breakfasts. It's having meetings with our teachers saying, behind closed doors, how are you guys doing? What do you need right now? It's just being, yes, the cute, fun, like staff development type activities, but really substantive conversations with people. What do you need to sustain yourself and to feel rejuvenated professionally? And so we're really committed to continuing to do that as well. So those are just a few of the challenges and opportunities that we have.
Thank you very much. And again, and they did such a nice job, articulating really when you look at the well-rounded nature of our schools and looking at each of the 4 areas of the program review as opportunities. I think even what we do well, the 3 principals are always talking with their staff about how we can do the things we do well better and not shying away from the things that we are certainly experiencing, either those external threats or those internal challenges, always facing that head on, just like we heard with the secondary review. Looking at data, we surprisingly this year, it's very late release. We actually will have the public data release tomorrow. I believe that goes public. We saw an embargoed release, but obviously one of the things that we always strive to do is have our students perform academically on a number of measures. One of those public measures, obviously, is the state assessments. It's something that we take seriously and look at amongst many, many other measures. Jill mentioned our iReady program with our new math program. We have a new science program. And a new reading series coming into play, and really looking at the science of reading and how to bolster a strong, literacy base for our students at the youngest level, so that they're able to be proficient and use their reading as a source of strength as they move through middle levels. But we do want to keep our eye on the state exam results. Unfortunately, when you're comparing to nothing, really, it's very difficult to assess percentages. We do hope when we see the public release over the next couple weeks, we'll dive into that and give the board our typical comparative analysis. I can, do that at a later board meeting. But, there were some really promising increases that we saw, particularly in the area of mathematics. Again, we want to see if those trends are region-wide or unique to Burnt Hills. And again, our we're excited to see the new science exams come in and see how our students do on those authentic tests, and again, ultimately see us continuing to develop in both math and ELA with some of the new programs we put into place. So when the comparative data is available, we'll talk more about that, but we wanted to give you a brief overview, and we're happy to take any questions from the board at this point.
Great job.
Thank you guys so much for all your hard work and effort and dedication and passion.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Chris might want to just mention that that there's a couple things here.
We have personnel and.
Yeah, and the volunteer firefighter EMS
Sure.
tax exemption is on here. Sure. Chris, did you?
Thank you for doing this.
Chris, the floor is open for you. Anything to add on the consent agenda? There's already a motion in a second on the consent agenda. Do you have any?
I'm sorry. No, I just wanted to say briefly, the board at the last meeting, we had a long discussion about the volunteer firefighters exemption. On the agenda tonight is the adoption of that volunteer firefighters exemption. By adopting it tonight, this will be fully available to the qualifying individuals for the 2024-2025 school year. So we just want to make sure we publicly announce that and make them aware that if this is successful tonight after a vote in a couple minutes, that will be something that will be available to all qualifying ambulance workers and volunteer firefighters that meet the criteria described here, starting with the 2024-2025 school year. So.
It may look like we're not paying attention to something, but the agenda that went out ahead of time and all the attachments to the agenda, as usual, were just very comprehensive. So if we take the time and just go over the agenda as it sent out earlier and all the attachments, come to the meeting really fully informed, and really I appreciate the extra work that goes into preparing all that stuff ahead of time so that we can ask any questions that come up, but we're very aware of all the work that goes into it, and especially this consent agenda has a lot of important stuff on it, and but it's all very well articulated and presented in the attachments, and so I feel really comfortable.
Months worth of business since we haven't met since the
Yeah, that's right.
November, so a lot of things going on, but all good stuff.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that motion carries. Moving on to our action item. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that motion carries. Now we're on to reports and communications. Dave? Okay. Chris?
Just be on the lookout for your electronic budget binder, which will be coming out in late January. I understand it doesn't seem like we're far into 23-24, but we're already starting 24-25. So you'll see that in late January after we receive the governor's proposals. That's all.
Jim?
I just wanted to emphasize what an honor it is to be in the same room with Coach Button and Coach Bynum. I mean, just longevity, legendary. They do it the right way, and it's just a pleasure to see how successful they are.
Absolutely. Beautifully said.
I wanted to just offer some appreciation for what Stevens and the elementary principals had to say, because right now in their schools, there's bedlam.
and chaos. And they came here prepared and professional, and I sincerely appreciate their work.
I'm assuming you're meaning pre-holiday bedlam.
Yes. Oh, yes. No, that's what I mean. Like,
Something we didn't heard about.
Just for the record, I know
It's on the news.
No,
the ceiling
like,
tiles
they're-
aren't falling
They're
already.
making Christmas ornaments, and they have cookies and parties and
Normal holidays.
everything, yes.
Important clarification.
Don?
So, yeah, I just wanted to mention, I mean, we're recognizing, someone mentioned this before, Sarah White's name came up also a little earlier. She's down in there doing her job with the kids in the orchestra and the choirs and stuff. But we also had, and you know, with the success of the sports programs and the obvious quality of the academic programs, it sometimes gets overlooked, the art and music accomplishments of the district. We had 2 students reaching the highest level of achievement this time around. Sarah White, you know, doesn't get a lot of recognition, at least from our perspective. It doesn't seem like she's very busy, but she, you know, she's been doing a wonderful job. And that's an area, we talk about math, we talk about social emotional, we talk about reading and all that stuff, but art and music is a huge part of what makes students the, you know, whole persons, whole people, and so, and the school just does a wonderful job. Tim came back and directed the Charlton Heights Drama Club play last week, and it's just unbelievable how many students participated in it, how unbelievable the production, the overall production was, and then of course the performance of the students, all of whom will treasure that for the rest of their lives. That's something they will remember, their experience up on the stage at Charlton Heights for the rest of their lives. I know my kids did. So again, it's such a holistic approach that we have, and a commitment to quality, continuous quality improvement that we're been committed to for a long time is very impressive, and hard to really overemphasize how important it is for every student in the district, from pre-K now, starting in January, right to, you know, 12th grade. We are providing the students with wonderful opportunities to become educated and caring people, you know, so, you know, nice work, keep it up, really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
So there's, to that point, Don, we've invited Rebecca Friedman, who's a vocalist, and Liam Sullivan, who's a cellist in the orchestra, and a conductor in his own right, to come. They both received all-state honors, the same kind of level in music as these students here achieved in athletics. And so you'll be able to meet them at the next board meeting in January and honor them in the same way with a whereas statement to recognize those state level
Were accomplishments. they the ones that you sent us that link in one of the Friday nights?
Yes.
That's
Exactly.
incredible.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, that was Rebecca.
Yeah.
So I did have a note from Nicole. She had shared that unfortunately she wasn't able to make it tonight. Along in the keeping with the same theme, she was selected as principal trumpet for the Empire State Youth Orchestra, and they have a mandatory dress rehearsal for Melodies of Christmas concerts Thursday through Sunday. So she's there right now. She's looked over the agenda and will watch the meeting on YouTube. And as for SGO and Student Perspective Update, we're currently midway through our annual Jingle All the Giveaways fundraiser, and both faculty and students have been enjoying the unique prizes. In addition, we have released our Holiday Spirit Week themes for next week, and she said she's personally very excited since the last Spirit Week was well received. So she wishes everyone on the board a happy holidays, and she'll see you in 2024. And so, and then also just an appreciation to Sarah. The auditorium that the board and the previous boards all together put in place has been completely full at these winter concerts. I don't know how we did it in the old auditorium, honestly. I do have vague memories of it just being packed, people standing along the sides. Exactly. Well, now it's just full, and there's people comfortably sitting. The balcony's full. It's all being streamed out over YouTube. Just it's been really, really fun to be a part of and to see that. So we're fourth concert tonight of 7, I believe, and then there's a daytime concert for the high school next Wednesday.
And the students' experience up on the stage is wonderful too. That's been enhanced tremendously. You know, what they see when they're up there performing is, I think, inspires them.
Correct. That's true.
Well, and do they, I haven't been this year, but do they get to sit, the orchestra and the chorus, and get to watch the band? Because before they couldn't,
Depends.
so they
Yeah,
have
no,
to,
sometimes.
they had to go in
Sometimes
the
they're
rooms.
there, like the jazz band performed
Mhm.
on Monday night, and then the rest of the band sat, and then the rest of the band joined the jazz band
Right.
in the 7th and 8th grade concert. So, so sometimes they also have the stream in the green room when they're waiting to come out. They can see the stream, so they kind of, but sure they're. And a lot of times they sit. It depends on the concert. Everyone's a little bit different. Sometimes they're sitting with their parents, and then they all get up and go around back. It's each one's its own adventure. So happy holidays to everyone, and a happy New Year, and looking forward to another calendar year together.
Ditto. Happy holidays. And I'll see you guys in 2024. Watch me!
We do need to adjourn. Let's vote on the motion to
Yeah.
adjourn.
Can I have a motion to?
So moved.
Okay. All right.
Have a good night, Dave.
All in favor?
Good night, Dave.
Carries all in favor?
Happy holidays.
All right.
You know.